the ever-changing sands of crypto economics.
How's it going, everybody? Come on, come closer. I'm Nick Spanos. How are you? I'm Nick Spanos. I opened the first live cryptocurrency exchange in the world in 2012, right next to the New York stock market. Huh? Oh, good. I can't hear that well. So, that was back in 2013. I'm going to keep talking. Maybe we can... The Pied Piper made it out. We all know that story. No, I'm just joking. I'm just fucking around. But wow, that guy's great. It's unbelievable. I never really watch influencers and stuff like that. I never do it. I should start. I learned a lot listening to that guy. I don't know what people learn from me, but I could teach you probably how to become an animal and make your dreams come true. Because mine have. And it's been a long trek. So I like talking to people and emboldening them, especially in this area, and I've been doing it for over a decade, even more. What year is it? Oh, more, like 12 years I think I've been emboldening people in this technology. And I think today, and what has happened, has given me the flashbacks of why I'm actually in decentralized technology and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain voting. Because I remember I was in many businesses before the crash of 1987. So we had like we had a bunch of stuff happen, I think on Friday, and then Monday, there was this incredible crash. And everything was, Black Monday, or Black Friday, I don't remember, no. They switched it with shopping, so your brain won't remember the bad things that happened, but I remember. So before the stock market crashed in 1987, I had incredible businesses. I had a big real estate company that I built on my own. I had a software company where I sold to politicians labels because no one had a computer. So that's how they would communicate to their people. And what happened was the stock market crashed, and then my phone didn't ring for a year. Back then, there were only a couple channels, so the way your brain would pick up that information is a little different. So than now you get a lot more information. So what happened was I became a commercial fisherman, believe it or not. I used to have a big Cadillac. So it's just reminding me that the talk that people are using now, the same as before, back then. So what happened was I saw on TV they were talking about Greenspan's briefcase being wide, and because Greenspan's briefcase was wide, one of the reporters said if it was wide before the crash, we might not have had the crash. Greenspan was the director of the Federal Reserve, and I said to myself, that guy's my owner. That guy made me a commercial fisherman. So I had to learn about central banking, and I went to the library, because that's what you did back then, and I learned that the whole thing was a big pyramid scam. And that's the foundation of why I got into Bitcoin. So I promoted all the candidates that actually knew what the Federal Reserve was doing and spoke against them slightly, because none of them had the guts, except for Ron Paul, to really speak against the Federal Reserve. So I promoted these candidates, worked for them, and got many of them elected, the congressional people. But what happened was nothing, because if they were big candidates and they were about to win, the media would destroy them a week or two before the election. So years went by, decades went by, and I thought to myself, you know what, Nick, you threw your whole life away fighting against the Federal Reserve, and fighting for competing currencies, you threw your life away. And I don't think that's what, it's very bad to have that feeling, because what happens in your mind, all of a sudden, you get desensitized to all the things around you, and you assign different values to them, and they're not stimulating enough, you know? The things don't end up stimulating you, and then you get in the downtrot. So I was in the downtrot, thinking I threw my life away. I chased everyone out of my life. Everyone who loved me. I never got married. I still didn't get married. Are there any candidates? I'm joking. But then I found Bitcoin. And I said to myself, you know what? Bitcoin's my new candidate. They can't destroy Bitcoin on election day or 4 days before the election. They can't destroy Bitcoin. That's my new candidate. And I threw everything I had. I said to myself, you have to burn all your ships. You want to make something succeed, you have to destroy everything else. So the thing that they say about burning the ships is that, oh, you're going to take over, you're going into war, and you land on the beach, everyone's looking at the ships to escape. Oh, there's too many of them to fight. And that's what I saw. I saw everything against me. I said, screw it. Destroy everything. This way you have to fight. I destroyed everything in my past. I destroyed my real estate company. I had a big, huge real estate company. Everyone, you know, I knew that if I told them back in 2011, 2012 that I'm in Bitcoin, it'd be over. And it was. They thought, oh, this guy went nuts. So the one thing you got to do is destroy your exit plan. You can't have an exit that's not going to pay you off. So I destroyed that. I destroyed everything. And I found that Bitcoin was my weapon. It was the only weapon I had and still have against the bankers, the central bankers, the centralized organizations, against everything. And now it's against the CBDCs that are coming. You have central bank digital currency that's coming to not do well for us. So people aren't really seeing the future. I always see the future. I have that problem. And CBDCs, imagine Web3 with a blockchain that's not transparent, smart contracts that aren't transparent, and a bunch of politicians trying to figure out how to control you. They're going to say, oh, you laughed during my last speech. Let's turn his money off. So the smart contract might turn your money off until you go to a re-education AI camp and stare at a phone where it re-educates you to love that candidate. Or let's say that candidate doesn't think he's going to be able to win the next election unless he stimulates the economy. He might time out your money. Say, oh, you know what? 25% of your money is going to be erased if you don't spend it in the next 2 weeks. They're going to control. There's not going to be any more paper money. And our only savior at that time, at that juncture, is going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the only way we're going to be able to save ourselves, because it's going to be the cash. We're not going to have paper money. They did it down in Nigeria. They made the e-Naira, and the e-Naira was not being adopted. Then they turned off the ATM. They said, oh, you can only take $20 out of the ATM at once. So there's like a real test bed. That's what's about to come down the pike to all of us. And I think everyone in the audience here should figure out a business, or figure out how their business is going to be affected by the central bank digital currencies from now. If you're making a whole bunch of money, maybe you're going to pay lobbyists. Maybe you're going to figure out a way to teach your clientele to keep this, the CBDCs. You know, they're going to have retail and wholesale CBDCs. Maybe the wholesale ones might be okay, but once it's retail and it's in your smartphone, you're going to be in big trouble. What do you think? I mean, they're going to put us in a digital cage, and we're not going to be able to do anything about it. because maybe they're not going to like for you to give your money to your kids. Maybe they're going to say, hey, they have to work on their own and start from scratch. That's the only thing that's fair. There are many different political minds out there, and all these things will happen. I know they're going to happen. I know there are a lot of people here, they want to get a Lambo. They're probably not going to let you drive. There's a song from Rush, Red Barchetta. It's about that. I grew up listening to Rush. And they have also Rush 2112, which is prophetic. So I think Bitcoin, my father always said when I was a kid, Βάρδα του Λεωνίδα, Βάρδα Μακεδόνη και ο 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐬𝐬 και όταν τύχει και πετύχει όλη τη γη θα την ραγίσει. That's Greek, ancient Greek. And he said, move to the side, armies of Leonidas, that's the Spartans. And move to the other side, armies of Alexander. Because little Nick is going to throw his hammer. And I'm thinking, you know what? We are going to throw our hammer. And that hammer now is Bitcoin. And we're going to throw our hammer. And he said, every time you throw it, you're going to get even stronger. You're going to achieve even more. It's going to go even further. And he says, every time you throw the hammer, you get stronger and bigger until one day you will crack the earth in half. So I believe that hammer is Bitcoin. What my dad said was pretty prophetic. Prophetic. And I think the time has come for everybody to understand that we're all in the same foxhole. We're all going to have these things happen. I foretold what was going to happen with COVID. I built the first, not the first, but one of the first Airbnbs called GetAroom.com, no more hotels. I built an early Uber app called Livery Cab, but everyone was still on SMS. I'm always early. I opened the Bitcoin Center, the first live cryptocurrency exchange. There's a movie on Netflix. Sometimes it's on Netflix, depends which country. But you can find it. It's called Banking on Bitcoin. They followed me around for 3 years. So I see the future. You got to listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. I just want to embolden you or try to say the things that might embolden me so you can become all you can become. And the way you're going to become all you can become is not me trying to scare you. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to elaborate on the things that I think might happen in the future pretty quickly. They almost happened in Nigeria. The election happened, so everyone was burning the ATM machines that only gave $20. No one was using the e-Naira. And it was election season, and the incumbent party said, hey, let's postpone the e-Naira till way after the election. So they're postponing the rolling out of the e-Naira for at least 60 more days. So I think it's our duty, not just to ourselves, especially not to ourselves, but this moment in history is so important. All our relatives from the beginning of time lived so we can be here now. Lived and died through centralization. Were driven into the ground. Never had what happiness they deserved as humans. And we have this one opportunity to be able to mobilize as a people, for ourselves, and our future. And I think it's an incredible responsibility, not just for the people of the past that made us here today, but also into the future, our kids' kids, our brothers and sisters' kids, and all the way down to the rest of humanity, depending upon how long we have as a species. So I think we can use decentralization and blockchain technology and for our benefit. We can use the AI. I have a project called NetMortal, where I registered that domain name in 1997, where you answer all the prompts, and it makes a model of yourself, and it even talks. There's a model of me. I don't know what they're doing with it, but my guys are doing some weird shit once in a while. And they play a video of me saying something I would never say, but then they delete those prompts. So to be able to preserve yourself into the future, that's the project, one of the projects I'm working on. I'm building CryptOS, is a cryptographic operating system, cryptos.com, registered in 2004. You don't have to listen to me. But if I'm wrong and you don't listen to me, nothing's going to happen. And I wish that to be the future. Thank you.